You're listening to STMK Radio 100.
It can be tough trying to promote your product or service in the world we live in. Countless hours spent spreading your message through signs, social media, and word of mouth, only to be received by few. What if there was a better way to promote your message? What if you could communicate directly to people through their Android phones? Well, now you can. Meet the Aservia Go. Think of it like a tiny beacon broadcasting to anyone who enters your zone, up to 100 yards. Promote your product, service, brand, or promotion using a preset 40-character message and clickable link to anyone with an Android phone and Bluetooth enabled. This message appears as a notification on their phone, just like a text message, Facebook notification, or any other alert. And when they leave your Aservia Go's broadcast zone, the notification goes away. How cool is that? Think of it as a time saver, a business booster, even a personal messenger, communicating directly with customers in the area with a custom message from you. The best part is, Aservia Go works, even when you aren't. When you're driving, eating, sleeping, or whatever you might be busy doing, the Aservia Go is constantly and consistently getting you and your brand or product out there to the people in the area. And you don't have to worry about battery life. The Aservia Go's battery lasts up to 2 full years. Think about it. What could this do to your sales? And how would this help your business grow? Considering that Android makes up about 60% of the marketplace and most people have their Bluetooth enabled, how many people do you think will receive a notification when they come within 100 yards of you each day? How about using multiple units to carry one with you or your spouse? Or having a stationary unit for your storefronts? Maybe a few extras to give to your employees? Aservia Go changes the game for you and your business. So how much are these little wonders? I'm glad you asked. Right now, Aservia is making their Aservia Go units available to the public with an introductory offer. 50% off. This is a limited time offer and your monthly pricing will be locked in at that rate. One unit, usually $49 a month, is now $25 a month. 3 units, usually $99 a month, is now as low as $49 a month. And 8 units, usually $199 a month, for you is only $99 a month. So, lock in your pricing now. How do you get these amazing Acervia Go units? Easy.
Visit us online today at www.acervia.com/universal ads. That's www.asirvia.com/universal ads.
STMK Radio 100. You're listening to Stop the Madness. Keep it 100 with your host, Sean L., Let, and Tone the Stone on STMK Radio 100.
Yes, this is a PSA, a public street announcement. You are now listening to a Kickback production. Light up your L's, lean back, and listen.
You haven't done nothing and aren't going to do anything. We don't do anything about these shootings. We don't do anything about gun violence. Now, that's because America is a gun culture at the expense of innocent lives and innocent people. So I'm done with it. The Second Amendment, as I've said before, is obsolete. It is used as an almost sacred biblical text to justify the murder of innocent people. An amendment that was written to uphold slavery and slave catching. It serves no other purpose. And many have been duped into believing that somehow this is about just having the right to keep and bear arms and to go hunting and to protect ourselves from home invasion. You know, I ain't no problem with people hunting, but now I do. If the right to hunt results in more human beings being killed than animals that we shouldn't be killing and eating in the first place, we don't even need that anymore. If you are still, even after what just happened yesterday, running around trying to justify the Second Amendment, trying to justify the NRA, trying to justify AR-15s, trying to justify bump stocks, trying to say that there is no need for gun control, no need to catch up with other nations of the world that don't have this problem, then you are as guilty as that shooter was yesterday. Yes, I said it. You may as well have been the trigger man, or the trigger woman, if that's the case, the trigger person. What's the real S-hole country? What's the real S-hole country? Other countries, infrastructure. Other countries, high-speed rail. Other countries, universal health care. Other countries, practically no gun violence. But here, no infrastructure, no high-speed rail, no universal health coverage, and you're going to get shot. And let's throw sexual assault in there, too, while we're at it. That's what goes down in America. What's the real S-hole country? We're going on with our radio program today. No point spending a whole lot of time talking about it. Seriously. Because as Stevie said, you haven't done nothing. You're not going to do nothing. Nobody's going to do anything. We're going to move on to the next thing. And don't talk to me about black-on-black violence. This is the result of violence perpetrated by whites and maintained by whites who want to support the Second Amendment, who want to keep pushing that. That's what this is. This is white men, white NRA, white Trump, orange Trump on everybody else's violence. White and orange on everybody else's violence. That's what this is. Talk to me about black on black violence. And by the same token, the numbness that many African Americans feel because of the helplessness, the sheer helplessness and inability to do anything about black on black violence, which is directly related to the drug trade that we don't control in our own communities, that's not organic or indigenous to our own community. That same numbness, that same anesthetization that afflicts us is now afflicting all of the rest of everybody else too. Because you can't do anything. You're helpless, you're numb, you're anesthetized, there's nothing you can do because somebody's about making some money. And what's sick about it, these psychos like Alex Jones say it's false flag, false flag. No, it doesn't work that way. This will help their gun sales go up. Gun sales have gone down since Trump came in because people didn't need to buy as many guns because there's no black president anymore. So everybody stocked up on guns, black president, gotta get guns, right? Right? You see how that works? So this is gonna help their guns, because then they're gonna start saying, we need more guns in schools. We need, no, that's not the answer either. More guns isn't gonna solve the problem. This is about mental health. Yeah, it's mentally ill to continue to promote the Second Amendment. It's mentally ill to do nothing. That's what mental illness is. Not gonna do nothing. Haven't done nothing. Aren't gonna do anything. Innocent children. For what? Just going to school. Why do people have to give their lives just to go to school? For you all to continue to say stupid things. Francis Criswell, it's phallic. Black gun. Big. Gotta have it. Sick. You're the ones that are mentally ill.
If you're an elected official and you want to keep things the way they are and not do things differently, if you want to keep the gun laws as they are now, you will not get reelected in Broward County.
This is Tassie Hawthorne from sunny California, and I listen to STMK Radio 100. Stop the madness. Keep it 100 on Facebook Live.
If we do not take a stand on weapons, and I'm going to say this, the AR-15 has no place in American streets, okay? That's you can't have a hand grenade. You can't have large missiles. You can't have a tank. You can't have all that other stuff.
How you feel about our local law enforcement? Can they have them?
Local law enforcement already has AR-15s because I had a patrol rifle. Before I left, I was trained with a patrol rifle.
The suburb where I was at.
And the reason that we got the patrol rifles was because of people with AR-15
exactly.
we're outgunned. But this is the problem right here. If you go back to L.A.
You remember when it started? That's when it started.
When the big bank robbery happened.
That's when it started.
We don't have, and this is what everybody fail to realize is this: Cleveland does not have, Euclid does not have, our cities do not have rolling SWAT teams. L.A. has 14 SWAT teams and they rolling patrol. Okay, so yes, you can lock it down, and when you got a shift of 100 officers, you can lock a person down. They couldn't take the people down in the L.A. bank robbery, but they was able to maintain and hold those individuals until SWAT showed up. Cleveland can't do that. If the first 4 zone cars come here in Cleveland, if you call the police right now, those 4 officers, unless you have one officer assigned with a patrol rifle, and he is so scared to pull that rifle out because I know when I got trained with the patrol rifle, you had so many rules, you didn't even want to touch the rifle. Okay? And I'm being serious about this. So 10 to 1, most people wouldn't even take their shotgun out the car. Okay? And when I got into my shooting,
even with the beanbags.
Right. And when I got into my shooting, you have to understand this thing. Police officers roll and do certain things, they're going to go with what they're most comfortable with, and that's their sidearm. Okay? And I can tell you right now, if a person got an AR-15, the first 3 zone cars pull up, you can put flowers for those people. And I'm talking about your wife, your son, your girlfriend, your daddy, your mama. They're going to have a problem.
You know what? That's the world we live in. We live in a mad world, man.
But
that's why we try. That's why we hoping to stop the madness.
Tone, that ain't the world we live in, because I'm going to tell you right now, if the State House and the mayor and the chief of police, and there's nobody's going to sit here and tell me, and I understand what everybody's saying and everything pushing off, but you're going to tell me that sitting in roll call with 14 individuals, and you know one of them, we're family, we're going to look down to 4 out of them 14 and tell 4 of them, we're not going to see you no more. No, that's unacceptable. That is unacceptable. Just like it's unacceptable for me to walk into Collinwood and take 17 people's lives, okay? We cannot allow us to start sitting down talking about that's the way life is and that's the way it is, because guess what? Your mother may be coming down the street, okay? Your sister. We have to get more involved. If we say that's just the cost of life.
Sean, listen, I grew up in the Glenville neighborhood where 60 to 70% of all the guys I grew up with have been shot, and
that's unacceptable.
Yeah, but it's been like that forever.
But we don't want to keep accepting
so listen,
it,
when I say no, but when I say that's the world we live in, I'm talking about when Sean was talking about the somebody jumping out with an AR on the police. Okay, even if the state, the politics do whatever they got to do to ban and outlaw these guns, if as long as they still exist and they get into the hands of people who are willing to draw them on police, if they're confronted, that's going to happen.
Wait a minute, I agree with that. Wait a minute. We have evil people in the world, and they do evil things. I agree with that. Okay, yes, but that may be one evil person that may get away with it. We done had 14 school shootings. It should have stopped with Columbine.
Yeah.
Success Tech. Come on. I mean, 14 schools. You talk about 25 people here. Vegas, 59 people killed in the streets of America at a concert. That is not acceptable.
Nobody.
Okay,
just sitting there enjoying
that's
music.
not acceptable, Tone. I mean, it's not. I mean, we done got, as John said, we done got so desensitized to the problem, we're not even looking at it no more. Okay, we're not even thinking about it no more. We pick up the paper and move on to the next bucket. Okay, it's like drinking a can of beer. You finish that one, you throw it away. We go to the next one.
They kick the can down the road. That's what they're doing.
And we can't. And I do believe we can't stop. But as I said before, let law enforcement officers start engaging our people, our entrepreneurs with these type of weapons, like they just did up here. It's okay. This is the thing where we losing it at. Okay. If me and Jay and you do it, it's okay. You know why? Because we savages and we getting rid of our own people, and those savages don't know nothing anyway. That's why you can treat them any way you want to. Okay, you know why, Tom? Because if I see you as an animal or I see you as a savage, it's easier for me to treat you as such.
Right. And get away with it.
Okay, and get away with it. Okay, now just think about this. Soon as a policeman get killed, what's the first thing gonna happen? They're gonna want the community to come out.
Yep.
They're gonna want the community to cry with them. They're gonna
Help
talk about
us
how
find 'em.
unacceptable it is.
Yep.
You're gonna have everybody coming down and around, okay? And I'm telling you, it's too late then to make that change. It's too late then to start talking about what we should have done. And I'm thinking right now we need to start with our kids, okay? Police officers know what they sign up for.
But you know what? No offense.
Go ahead.
But as many of young black men have been killed by police officers,
I understand what you're saying.
I don't see that much of a outcry.
I understand what you're saying. It would be an outcry. And
Of course, it's going to be an outcry.
and I understand what you're saying right there, because this is another level.
But, I mean, especially a white officer. Let's not trying to sound racist. Let's just keep it real.
Right, but
in the black community.
And I understand.
The first thing I can hear, that's one of them. That's what they get.
That's what they
killing
get.
us.
Wait a minute, and I understand that, and that's what I'm telling everybody right now. Okay, because that is going to happen. Okay, nobody's going to feel the pain for them. Nobody's going to feel sorry. Nobody's going to see that. I'm bringing it up and putting it on that level for one reason. Okay, because that opens up the eyes of the politicians and the people who care. Maybe they will save our kids.
I want to stress one other point before we move on to another subject.
I don't like when you keep saying that's going to save our kids, because it might put some more restraint on these killings, but it's not going to save our kids.
I think it will.
Look, it's terrible what happened in Florida last week. These school terrible to shoot. Violence in society is terrible. But I'm the type of person who like to try and be optimistic and think and say that it's as terrible as those things are, society has evolved to be a much better place. If you look back throughout history, men have taken their armies and they have went to other lands, raped, pillaged, killed men, women, and children.
Well, you ain't got to go to other lands right here.
Okay, well, no, what I'm saying is, okay, that's human nature. Yeah, it still exists in our society today, but on a much smaller level. So even though these things are tragic, y'all keep saying like what's happening. This stuff has existed from the beginning of time, and we have to give it time. Maybe not in our lifetime will we see it completely be eradicated, but you have to know and believe that we are far better off in society than we were 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, whatever.
Let me say this. I was talking to a good friend of mine. He was talking about this is one of the most racist times in history. I said, "Are you crazy?
Right?
Are you crazy? For you just go and saying the things you were saying on Facebook, you can get publicly lynched."
Right, but see, you understand.
Back in the day. So think about how it is now.
But you know what the difference is.
And I have to agree with Tone. Things are a lot way better in society than they were.
It is better. It is better. It's even better because we, J Mac, had brought us up to the thing because our forefathers pushed us, okay? The millennials haven't experienced what we experienced, okay? They don't know about living under Jim Crow laws.
Right.
They don't understand how you couldn't walk down the streets in certain neighborhoods.
Or come home from school without getting jumped.
See, you have to you have to understand, Jay, that we're in two different worlds, okay? When
But this guy was in the millennium. He's my age. That's
but
why
he
I got
probably
upset.
right.
But you know, I love him. He speaks more of emotion. He seems like racist things happening, and he gets upset. but it's always been like this. It's
Right.
always
It-
been
what-
Racism has
what-
been around and it's not going anywhere.
Wait a minute. This system started.
Simple as that.
This system started,
Thank
and
you.
and you
Go
know,
on.
you know, I always like to go back. It started in 1861, 1863. Okay, when racism actually started. So yes, it's been here since then. Okay, and
No,
it
No,
hasn't gone
racism
nowhere.
started doing. Racism
Hold on,
started when they
sis-
went over to Africa and grabbed our ass and brought us
No,
over
no,
here.
no,
No.
no, no. Hold on,
Black
hold on, hold
man.
on. Let's start to tell
That's
them.
when it
wait a
started.
minute.
They started beating us and making us go out in the field and work for nothing.
The disciples
That's the
were
ra-
racist. If you read your Bible, the
Right.
disciples were
Well,
racist.
I'm talking about America.
No, I'm just talking about racism.
Right,
period.
Right. You can go
It's
back.
gonna be racist
You
views.
talking about the biblical?
People gonna like be more lean towards their own.
You can go back to the
So
Romans.
racism, exactly.
You can go back to the Romans. But see, this is where I cut it. 1861 was actually when America and the colonies started, and racism and race started.
They started the separation.
Using it as a
started here.
strategy to
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
keep people
now
in
you
check.
can't. You
Okay.
can't go back into the Bible as you did. And go back to the Roman days. Go back to the Vikings. Yes, and as Tone said, they were slaughtering people. Black in Egypt was slaughtering people. That's why the Middle East is still fighting. Okay. We have to change. I want to say that I do believe that we will change and be better. Okay, that's my belief. I'm taking up your side right here, Tone, of optimist, where we will be better.
Smart man. That's a smart
Okay,
man. Right
and I'm
Be an
saying
optimist. You gonna be an optimist right now.
I'm gonna say this because sitting on the violence panel and watching Trump destroy the democracy and watch what's going on with Trump, and that's going to take us right into that because I really didn't want to spend 49 minutes talking about murder.
Sorry about that.
And shooting and stuff because we already know nothing's going to happen or nothing's going to change. And ain't no sense of us sitting here talking about with the optimism that it is going to change or that weapons going to be.
They're not
you
going
know,
to take down a powerful
You know what?
NRA. They're
You
not
know
gonna
what?
take 'em
These
down.
same kids that we are praying and hoping for the best for, that they never experience another tragedy like this.
No.
The vast majority of them, they sit up talking killing and violence
each
on a
other.
video game all
And
day,
they
every
watch
day.
violence and killing on TV. They do it.
simulate killing each other all day,
all
every
the
day.
time. And they sit back.
and you have to go with the movies.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to. It started with rap, then you go on the way down. So there is going to be a change coming. But right here, I want to talk about our democracy since we're talking about going on right here.
Just like that.
Trump had a worse week here. He had we was going into the domestic violence.
With rap. They were just expressing what they were seeing.
Well, rappers, J Mac, I go back because rappers told a story of their life in the hood, and it started in Oakland, okay, and the Bronx. They was talking real life stuff. See, the problem is a lot of people do not understand real life in inner cities and what we go through, okay, and a lot of people don't understand. On the same token, what law enforcement officers have to deal with in the inner city, what they go through. So everybody's going through hell, and hey, the rappers told a story and made money off of it. I'm not mad at him about
Tone
that.
said he didn't care. I was like, hey, Tone.
But Tone's a millennial,
Yeah.
and Tone was out there doing his thing too.
Yeah.
But Special Counsel Robert Mueller, they just issued 13 indictments for the Russia interference. So we now know that the Russia is not a hoax.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to actually impeach him for real or what?
No, they're not going to impeach him. Trump is not going to get impeached, but I do see the Republicans right now. The Democrats has won 6 or 7 Republican seats in red-hot districts, okay? And that wave is coming because, remember I told you, 47% of America didn't vote, okay? And everybody keep talking about Trump's base. Trump only has a 25 to 30% base. That's why he can't get up over 30% or 35, 37%, okay? So that wave is going to come. The question is how it's going to come. And I don't see Trump running for re-election because,
he ain't going to make it.
He hate to lose. No, it's not that he ain't going to make it. He hate to lose.
Right.
Okay? So he knows that 47% of people out there, that's just like a football game, knowing that Jay Mackey and all the big boys from the high school is sitting in the locker room to come out the second half, and they got the other guys playing. The road's coming.
I think he's too arrogant though. Like I think if somebody gets in his ear, he'll run. He'll run again.
You know what?
He'll run again. He's too arrogant.
He
man.
go.
His ego is.
I don't see him.
He
Look,
wouldn't run again.
wait a minute. I told everybody this
I don't
last
see
week.
it.
Wait a minute. I told everybody this last week about gun control. And everybody kept saying, wasn't no gun control. Well, wasn't nobody going to talk about gun control. Nothing was going to happen. But as soon as those kids got out there, Trump immediately started talking about what they wanted to hear. But in the back, he started talking about what the NRA want to hear, okay? So he wants to be chimed in on whatever level that's going to win, okay? And I look at him, he knows come November 8th,
That's the midterm election.
that's the midterms, he's going to see that wave come across. And he's going to lose the House, and he's going to lose the Senate. And watch Trump, when he lose the House and the Senate, turn around and sit down and play with the Democrats just the way, because he's a Democrat. He's not a Republican. Okay? He's a racist because
I don't know what he is.
because
he's a con artist.
right,
That's what
right.
he is.
Because you know
He's an oompa loompa.
he used his persona against Obama, and every time something happened, it's Obama fault. Obama, or Hillary. Okay, that's to stroke his base. But he also comes back into the thing where he tells the Democrat he actually got some real Democrat ideas, and the question is, if it wasn't for the hardcore Republicans over here, maybe he would be doing some of those Democrats because he likes to win. He got to be the man.
But they don't want that because they want him to abolish everything Obama has done, everything he talk about. So that's their agenda, and they're using him to do it.
Well, they have to use him to do it because he's the only one that's going to sign.
That's right.
But you look at this, the Russian hoax is not a hoax because you got a lot of people going to jail.
I knew it wasn't a hoax.
Okay, you got 7 people and they getting ready to go to jail. Okay, Paul Manafort looking at almost a death sentence. Okay, you talking about 60, 70 years? He already 60, 70 years old. That's a death sentence. Okay,
just say kill me now.
And everybody keeps saying that. Okay, when Manafort deal with the Russians, that's treason. Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I don't understand. Because if these people are associated with Trump and his campaign and his committee, his cabinet, and if it's enough to get to indict them, how is he not? I mean, even if he, it's he's the head of the.
I think
because he's a pawn.
But what I'm saying
Trump,
is he's
the
the president, right?
yeah.
So if these people are official members of his cabinet,
They can't get him yet.
That should be all it takes. His whole presidency is tainted.
But first of all, you can't indict.
It should be scrapped.
You can't indict a sitting president.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that because you know what? I've seen a lot of historians and a lot of constitutional lawyers say that's not true. But one thing
but see, that's in the Constitution.
Right.
You can't.
But what I see happening, where the problem comes in at, if they go get Kushner and his daughter and his son, he could pardon them. Okay,
right.
So that's another big issue. So, but I do see
that's why he has the pardon power to pardon him, so they won't indict, so they can indict him.
And I do see Robert Mueller, as I told everybody before, he put Patty Hearst in jail. Okay, so he is the top law and order guy, and he's doing exactly what he's doing, and he's going methodically with it. Now, what I do see coming down here is the unknown and known co-conspirators with the 13 Russians that they indicted. When those indictments come down, those indictments coming down for treason. Those are not unwittingly a thing, and if they assisted a foreign entity,
they put you in front of a wall
to interfere in our elections.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought. Congress can give you under the Constitution. Congress can commute that down to hard labor. Okay.
Yeah.
But they have executed only one person, and treason is a death penalty offense.
They're going to get house arrest. That's going to be it.
They gonna put
I don't think so. I think what's going to happen, Tone, I think that a lot of people is going to be shocked and looked at it. And I see the son-in-law. I see John Jr. It may not get to daddy, but I see a lot of people going to fall when the next shoe come down.
If all of those people so close to him and his campaign and his presidency are coming under his fire, it should be revoked. That should be the law.
That's not about to happen.
But
I know it's not going to be happening, but it should be revoked.
Wait a minute, and you know what? But you know what it's going to do. You know what it's going to say. This is what it's going to tell America.
Go ahead, Sean. What?
Elections have consequences, and America you have a responsibility, okay? And this is why 2018 and 2020, you're going to see all this stuff coming down. And you're going to see a lot of women running for office, okay? Under the section.
Long as it ain't Oprah.
Well, you know what? I'm looking at this. This is a good time anyway. Matter of fact, Anita's running for office.
Anita who?
Anita Howard.
Hey, okay, she got my vote.
Running for office. So she's going to be there. But see, you look at this with Robert Mueller. Trump had a very bad week. But as a matter of fact, some say in his cabinet say the shooting took a little weight off of him. And I hate that they were saying that, and I wish that the news media would have jumped on him when they said that. But you have to look at this. He had a man in office that they lied about for domestic violence. Okay. With top security clearance, but he didn't have no clearance. So he's doing the same thing they accused Hillary Clinton of doing, okay, but on a bigger scale. Then they lie. And this is the problem I have with Trump's administration. They're the gang that can't lie straight or shoot straight, okay?
Exactly.
They get busted on everything they do.
And they still can't be stopped. So what's really going on?
Well, the problem is, Tom, we have never had it at this grand scale before, okay? We have always had corruption, but
right, this is like.
But I don't see it being stopped. I don't even see any
This is to the
signs
10th
of
power.
being stopped.
We ain't never had
a
foreign country come in and influence our presidency.
But I never known the White House to be in a situation like this except Richard Milhouse Nixon.
Yeah.
During Watergate. And the difference is, in Watergate, okay, they didn't have a Barack Obama.
Somebody to blame it on, yep.
And no, it's not somebody blaming on. They have an
agenda. Too deflected.
See, if Barack Obama would have been president before
Ronald Reagan and Oliver North.
Right, Ronald Reagan. But North took the fall for Reagan.
Yeah, that was during the Contra issue.
See, North took the fall.
These guys are taking the fall for Trump.
No, but this comes down from not. See, this.
Yes.
The difference is not me and you stealing, and I'm the head of the organization. Okay? See, this is the problem right here. It got us in this room going against the United States, and we got Canada. We're assisting Canada to take over or to do something to destroy the United States.
I understand.
Okay? We haven't had it on this scale. The last time we had it on this scale, and everybody should know this, was a gentleman called Benedict Arnold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Think about him earlier.
Okay.
Well, I think you're being a little too lenient on these politicians. I personally feel like every politician
that's what a millennial
without benefit of the doubt, without benefit of the doubt until they prove otherwise. They all got something going on behind doors.
Exactly, I agree 100%.
Trump and his administration, they just don't care. They don't care how much they get caught.
They weren't raised. Exactly, they weren't raised in politics.
They're bold-faced liars. Other politicians, they try to make you believe it. These are bold-faced liars running, wreaking havoc.
But look at this. When have a rich, powerful man ever cared about? Think about this.
Right.
We have the richest, powerful man, and now he's the most powerful man in the world. When did he ever care about what somebody said? He's running it like he ran his other stuff.
I didn't say he did care about what somebody said. I'm saying.
So when it comes down, when it comes down,
he's doing what he wanted to do.
He's not polished enough to be politically correct.
Look at Mitt Romney.
And if I hear that again, J Mac, I'm gonna snatch your head off, and I'm gonna get my knife out. If I hear he's not. First of all, he ain't politically correct on anything because he doesn't know anything.
Right. He don't know nothing about politics.
Well, he knows business, though. Hold on.
That's all he knows business.
Wait a minute, how you know business and all his business failed? Come on now. If I went bankrupt on everything I did.
Sean, wait a minute. In Trump's defense, Mitt Romney does the same thing, but because he makes money off his companies after he closed them down. He chops them up and sell them. And if Mitt Romney would have got in the office as president, we'd be going through the same thing that we're going through with Trump, but without all the racism.
There's one difference there. There's one difference there, SAXMAN.
Okay.
Mitt Romney had his own money.
Yeah, I understand that.
Trump has Russia oligarchs' money.
Yeah.
Another country is funding Trump. Another country owns Trump. I guarantee you, if we see Trump's taxes right now, the same people that was waving that flag around.
It'll have a hammer and sickle on the side of it,
right? Right. And the same people that I call them Daddy Warbucks doing all this, they will go down there and run Trump out of the White House themselves.
Let me read a Trump quote from 1988.
Tweet.
If I were to run, I would run as a Republican. They are the dumbest group of voters in the country. They believe anything on Fox News. I could lie and they would eat it up. I bet you my numbers, it would be terrific. This is in 1988.
Hey, well,
this is People Magazine.
He's terrific, but his numbers is in the dink.
Wow. He's the president. It don't matter if his numbers are zero. He is the president for 3 more years.
Not really.
Well, I agree with you on that. But you know what the difference is? Come November, he's going to get neutered.
You ain't lying. The midterm elections, man, that's when you really know.
But because, as I said before, the Supreme Court just redid, and I'm going to tell you what everybody need to look at. And this is what I want all y'all to look at before we do our pre-election coverage for May and stuff. In Pennsylvania, they got one district that's up for election March 13th. That's a red district. Now it's a blue district. And if the Democrats win that district, that's a telltale sign what's going to happen in November. Okay? That'll let you know where we're going in November. And I think that's what's going to change all this stuff with Trump. This is going to change what's going on. But before we go into that, because we're going into the top of the hour and we spend all that time there on the gun thing, let's go back there with Trump. Trump paid $130,000 to the porn star. Now you got another porn star coming out. Then you had John Kelly get caught in a lie over the guy for the domestic violence. And then you had Robert Mueller come out with the 13 indictments for Russia. So Trump is having a bad week.
What about Trump's wife being not legal? Did you hear about that?
No, Trump's wife, her parents.
Her parents, okay.
But they just
got green cards.
I think they legal residents now. I mean, American citizens now.
Well, I think I just read today or yesterday that they still got green cards, but I don't know. I was just thinking, since we talking about Trump, I don't really think he cares if he does get impeached or not, man. This is all.
Trump was
he's
surprised
gonna be, he's going to be 10 times richer when this is all over.
The man was surprised that he made it. He was shocked when he made it.
But you know what, SAXMAN, we're going to go right into this because, you know what, Tony Stone, I know you've been waiting for this anyway.
Oh, here we go.
And I've been waiting to get on SAXMAN anyway. Oh. But first, we're going to go on this because we already talked about Trump and everything. But Baltimore Task Force gun case. Let's hear what's going on with that.
Has announced charges against 13 Russian individuals and 3 Russian entities related to violations trying to interfere with the U.S. elections in 2016 elections.
When both were found guilty on the racketeering charge, that involves the conspiracy that involves the rest of the gun trace task force using their police powers to rob people and steal overtime. They were also found guilty of robbery and found guilty of overtime fraud. There were multiple counts on each of those that they were found guilty of. The 2 were acquitted by the jury on the federal gun charge. That's the use of a gun in a crime of violence. They were acquitted on that count. That charge carries a minimum mandatory sentence. Even so, these 2 defendants are looking at very severe penalties, up to 20 years maximum on the counts on which they were convicted. We've heard from the lawyer for Daniel Herschel. Bill Purpura said his client was, quote, devastated by the verdict. And it said, obviously, they have to respect the jury's verdict. Speaking right now in front of the courthouse, and all the way behind me, is acting U.S. Attorney Steve Schenning. He said the U.S. Attorney's Office is very satisfied with the case, cited how this case started a long time ago with the overdose death of a young woman in Harford County. That led to a drug investigation, and it was in the course of that drug investigation that former Detective Mamadou Gondo showed up on a wiretap. And once that happened, that started the corruption investigation. So there are long tentacles of this case. And as the FBI has said in testimony in this case is not over, even with these guilty verdicts today. We do have a statement from the Baltimore Police Department. I'll read that in part. Statement says, we recognize that this indictment and subsequent trial uncovered some of the most egregious and despicable acts ever perpetrated in law enforcement. I am thankful for the FBI and BPD Internal Affairs Division for their professionalism while investigating and preparing this case. That, again, is coming from the police department. So, again, 2 former detectives, Daniel Herschel and Marcus Taylor, found guilty on 3 of 4 counts in a federal corruption case: racketeering, robbery, and overtime fraud.
About being anti-police. You saw the police you could believe, and you now know the ones you can't believe. And anybody who believes that all police are perfect, that they don't lie, that they don't have the same biases and racism that the rest of society has, is living in a dream world. So this is not for the faint of heart. This is not for the timid. As I said, this is for the courageous who understand what the Constitution is all about.
Now, SAXMAN, we're going to come right in here to you. So I hope you got your hat on and you ready for this, SAXMAN.
Overtime? They hit overtime?
Yeah, they got a lot. Wait a minute. They did it. They was a big-time enterprise here.
Yeah.
And Tony Stone, get that smile off your face.
I ain't smiling.
He can't wait.
This is the normal order of the day as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Wait a minute. This was a whole unit, 12 people, okay? And the only reason they got caught is because they gave bad drugs to a person and they end up dying. And that's what's going on right there.
That's honor amongst thieves. Huh?
But Tone, talk to SAXMAN for 1 minute.
Here we go. Go ahead.
Go ahead, SAXMAN. Tell them about
these buddies of yours?
One of them was.
Yeah, y'all still in
really for real?
No,
don't
pay Tone no attention, man. No, this is the whole thing. When the two got the two they're talking about, the Herschel dude and Taylor, they were part of that gun task force. It was a good task force.
They were a real live gang.
Their job was to go out there and find people that have
department.
illegal guns and everything and arrest them and anything like that.
You said they were a good task force.
It was considered a good task force to go out there.
Oh, what it was supposed to represent was
go out there.
They weren't far from a good task force.
Get the guns, arrest people with the.
But SAXMAN, come on now. I'm gonna say this.
That was the mob reincarnated.
Well, now see, okay, when you have a good program ran by wrong people, it doesn't make the program bad. It just makes the people who was involved in it bad. It was a good program. When you got the GTTF, the Gun Trace Task Force, to go out there and find people with illegal guns and everything, that was a good thing. You got to go out there and find them because a lot of them out there
right.
with illegal guns.
And
you
got
got
to
catch them.
And they was responsible for people with AR-15s and all that good stuff.
Yeah, go out there and get them.
But the problem is,
who fault was it? The people who appointed these bad apples to the task force?
No,
the more power, the more corruption.
I have no idea your mentality.
They made, the one guy said, and I'm reading this right here, the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
He made $1 million a month. When they had the riot, remember they had that riot?
He was probably giving his police salary away to charity.
No, he's a bounty hunter. He wasn't even a policeman. They recruited.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And they got 2 civilians also.
Right, and they went out when Freddie Gray, when they had the riots, Freddie Gray, and they broke into the drugstores. They took all them drugs they got out of the drugstores and sold them and gave them big bags.
Yeah, they was in garbage bags. Yeah.
Yep.
But Thursday,
so he was making the most money. Who was making? Was the police making the most money?
Oh, that bail bond.
Well,
so he was the
no.
He was the kingpin.
No, I'm gonna know. The kingpin was a
con.
sergeant.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much was he making a month?
He had to be making almost 2. You know, one. All of them was making money. If the Bills bombers made $1 million a month, you know that they got paid. And he's an outsider now. Come on.
And there's still a Philly cop that's awaiting trial.
Yeah.
Got in with them.
Yeah.
He's been in jail since.
Well, all but one member of that unit was indicted. So they only had one true guy there.
They had 12 altogether.
But, we right here. But, Baltimore, that is shaking the foundation. When people come back, and it goes to, and the reason I brought the Baltimore case back in, because you have to look at this. The FBI is taking a beating right now by the Trump administration because they want to undermine them for the Russia investigation. But now you got the FBI being attacked by the NRA. You got gun right activists and everybody else because they dropped the ball on the investigation with the shooter, and they didn't properly follow up. So the FBI, one of the premier law enforcement agencies in the country.
If y'all dig deep and really think about this, this might be strategy right here, because Trump is known to keep ties with gangsters in the Russian, the bad apple Russians. This might be all part of the game plan.
I agree with that.
Keep the FBI, running around in circles with this nonsense while the criminal organized underworld.
I don't think the FBI is that stupid.
But
it ain't about being stupid.
But you know
it's
what?
About them being preoccupied with.
Right, but you know what, Tone? No, because you know what? Robert Mueller only has a certain number of investigators, and he's following the money. He's like a bloodhound.
That's what they say. Follow the money.
No, he a bloodhound. See the first mistake Trump made. Trump probably would have been all right if he wouldn't have fired Comey. Okay.
Yeah, because Comey was on it.
When he fired Comey, actually what Trump did was Trump went down to the courthouse and smacked Lady Justice in the face. Now all the career prosecutors and the career investigators and all them, they have a point to prove now. Okay. And that point is, we're not going to let you do this to us. And that's the problem right here. He has no control. They're going to do their thing. And guess what? They putting bodies behind them. You know, when you say a body count, they putting a body count behind them. And they not done yet. And since they indicted the Russians, he can't fire them. Okay? And the Baltimore case has shaken the faith in law enforcement, period. This is going to rock all the way across the country, okay? I mean, for seriously, God forbid we have another controversy shooting, okay? And you got the sheriff in Florida that's now up against the NRA, and everybody calling him, and you got them saying that it's the police fault that this kid got killed. So now nobody has faith in anything.
But how about the police chief that told his the troopers to go out there and target black people and arrest them and
right.
treat them and shoot them.
And he got fired. But
that was terrible.
This is the problem with everybody. He forgot about the mindset when it comes back. And we're going to do this. We're going to do a show on this. And this is what I want everybody to know is that we're going to do a show on policing and racism. Okay. But the problem is you have to understand police departments that we know of was developed and started back during slavery, okay? The slave patrol. That's the police departments that we know of right now.
Yep.
And they have always been used to either keep the slaves in line, suppress somebody's rights,
hunt them down when they try to
hunt them down, or just think about the civil rights. They use the police. Every time somebody go protest, they use the police. So it's embedded in the profession.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what the problem is? Referring back to that sergeant, that boss, that whatever y'all call him, that got fired. He got fired for that. He should have been sent to prison for that. Like that's such a flagrant abuse of his authority, his position. He should be in prison for that. That's the way you send the message to people.
This
like that.
is why we have to have millennials in office. Okay, you know why? Because Tone the Stone is saying something that the young kids in Florida said, and this is why I keep going back to the millennials: accountability and holding people accountable for their actions. And when you don't, just like with police departments, I'm gonna say this: if you hold a person or an employee accountable for what they do, the other employees will fall in line. But before we go any further, hey, guess what? I see a lot of smoke out there, and the chat room is jumping up. Hey,
is it jumping?
Yeah, it's jumping. Let's go see what's up with D-Nose in the chat room. And what's all that smoke in there, D-Nose? What's up? Tell me what's going on in the chat room. Is it on fire?
Well, Chanel, the chat room is on fire, and they're letting their opinion show. Curtis Keller, it's not my view, it's our nation's constitution. Just because a majority of the public has been brainwashed into being soft kitty cats doesn't change that it just makes them traitors. Only 3% of the American colonists were in favor of attacking the British when they attempted gun confiscation, and we all know how that turned out. Claire Perry, utter crap. Your country has a massive problem and you're whining about people trying to do something about it? Michael Roller, because obviously victims should never be given a platform to speak. It's amazing the coordinated effort to justify ignoring anything these young people have to say, instead of listening to their ideas and discussing it amongst ourselves like adults. But I guess labeling them as enemies to liberty is easier than taking on such a difficult issue as gun violence. Bright Elijah, someone explain to me, if the Mueller investigation is a fake, why are Republicans scared to let him finish it, and why are they working so hard to discredit him? Mueller is a Republican, right? Jim Carter, Mueller is coming to get you, Trump. Zooey Powell, Mueller likely will indict Manafort again on some charges. They found another $40 million in suspicious funds. In addition, Rick Gates is making a deal and willing to flip on Manafort. If Manafort flips, it's ball game for Trump. Susanna Durant, Australia doesn't make excuses. Australia acted to save their babies, and here in the States, all we are doing is making excuses. Baloney. Australia didn't settle for thoughts and prayers. They enacted strict laws instead. Cindy Baker. He also tried to get Mitch McConnell to help him expose it, and Mitch McConnell refused. And you can bet your butt that when the truth finally comes out completely, that Trump not only knew about it all, he also helped them do it. America needs to wake the hell up and see what the heck is going on. And that's what's happening in the chat room with DEE'S Knows.
Podcast telling stories of America's criminal underworld.
Gotti assumed the position of head of the Gambino family.
And using the name Donnie Brasco, I was able to infiltrate the Bonanno crime family in New York City.
Bugsy Siegel is an American mob legend.
One man changed the whole texture and landscape of crime in America.
Listen to Mafia every Wednesday on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your favorite shows.
AP Radio News. I'm Ed Donahue. Students from Florida's Stoneman Douglas High School were at the state capitol, Tallahassee, 1 week after a deadly shooting at their school. Their message, it's time for action.
She survived the Florida school shooting, and now Ashley Santoro says she'll fight until stricter gun laws are passed.
I sat hiding in a closet, fearing for my life, for my future, when all of us are that future. If we are going to protect our future,
student Cheryl Acquaroli says Congress must do more.
Thoughts and prayers won't stop my brothers and my sisters from dying!
Survivor Florence Yarrett has a message for lawmakers.
Soon we will be able to vote, and we will vote you out!
These students say one day they'll be the lawmakers. I'm Julie Walker.
The White House says President Trump will host a listening session on gun violence today. Survivors of the Florida school shooting will be there, as well as survivors from the Sandy Hook and Columbine shootings. There were protesters outside the White House today.
We have a voice! We have a voice!
Some students from Maryland walked from the Capitol to the White House. A security officer overheard a student threaten to open fire at a high school near Los Angeles, allowing officials to thwart the plot. Assault rifles were found in the suspect's home. He's been called America's preacher, the first evangelist to take advantage of television. Billy Graham has died in North Carolina. David Stokes is senior pastor at Expectation Church near Washington. He says Graham's organizational skills ensured his appearances had a lasting impact.
In a sense of drawing crowds, putting them together, and making sure that once the crowd was together, it was also organized, and then when they left town, that the churches in that particular community had an opportunity to follow up on the fruit of the campaign.
Billy Graham was 99. The California Highway Patrol says a rape suspect has died after poisoning himself during a freeway chase. This is AP Radio News. In 8 cities in the U.S., Uber has a new service, Express Pool. The AP's Tom Krischer reports the ride will cost less and require some walking.
If you press Express Pool on the app on your phone and you want to ride, it'll tell you that it's looking for other people to match you up with. In about a minute or two, it will tell you, we have a ride for you, we have a driver, walk to this location. Be a couple of blocks away usually on the main street. There would be no more than 3 passengers total, and they would drop you off at a kind of a common location where all 3 of you could get to your destinations easily.
Express Pool could cost as much as 75% less than a regular Uber ride. A home was destroyed by a fire near Detroit, and authorities say a man was trying to use a smoke bomb to force some skunks out of a crawl space. It sparked a fire that eventually spread through the walls and attic of the rental property. The fire chief says the house was a complete loss and no skunk carcasses were found. I'm Ed Donahue, AP Radio News.
And now back to John with the weather.
Yes, Andy. Tonight, a big storm. Storm this! Get the soccer offer from Pizza Hut and Pepsi. With every 2 medium pan Super Supreme, you get a real soccer ball and 4 cans of Pepsi for free. Yes, a real soccer ball and 4 cans of Pepsi for free. Yes, Pepsi the soccer ball. Don't miss the Pizza Hut and Pepsi soccer offer. With every 2 medium pan Super Supreme, you get a real soccer ball and 4 cans of Pepsi for free. What about the weather, Eddie? Don't resist and call 19,000 now.
Stop the madness. Keep it 100. The best talk show on the web is here on STMK Radio 100 with your hosts, Sean L., Let, and Tone the Stone. Come join us from 6 to 8 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. Stop the madness. Keep it 100 with live call-ins, heated discussions about current events, politics, national news, weather, and sports. Join our live online chat room and let your opinion show. Download our phone app. Stop the madness. Keep it 100 on STMK Radio 100. Come join us from 6 to 8 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. The best talk show on the web is here on STMK Radio 100. Call us at 1-866-484-7865. That's 1-866-484-STMK. Stop the madness. Keep it 100.
You've been tuned in to Stop the Madness, keeping it 100 on STMK Radio 100. And now back to your host one more time, Sean L. Let and Tone the Stump.
Those who strive to turn the clock back will not be successful, because the arc of justice bends toward that which is good and that which is right. African Americans have been through the storm. We've been through slavery, we've been through segregation, we've been through all of that, and yet look where we are today.
And look where we are today. Right there, you know, we're going to come back in, and we're at the bottom of the hour. We want to welcome San Francisco on with us. YouTube, Facebook Live. You can see us on demand at SoundCloud.com, Mixcloud.com, and YouTube, Mixlr, and Rev Nation. Tone, you know, we was going to go back in here on our Free Fall Thursday and talk a little Cab, but before we talk about the Cavs and that magnificent trade they did, and he became the best owner of the nation if they can knock that title down. But before we go into that, I want to go back into what we were supposed to talk about earlier, and we spend a lot of time on the school shootings and Trump and everything. It's domestic violence. Domestic violence is the root of the problems in most of our communities and our homes, and probably with our kids, the reason why they're acting the way they're acting out the way they're acting. On average, 24 people per minute are victims of rape, physical violence, stalking by partners, and there are more than 12 million men and women over the course of the year will become a victim of domestic violence.
Dang, Tone, you doing all that quick?
No, I'm a victim myself.
Oh, you're a victim.
Right. But we have to understand this and look at this is that what happened at the White House last week was a serious issue where Trump disregarded his aide assaulting his wife and his girlfriend and beating on them. And it wasn't until the picture came out that they took any action. And I know a good activist for this, Laura Crown, did a book. If everybody remember, Laura Crown was tied up and kept a prisoner by her husband when she was in California. She got 2-3 books out. And she has a radio show now on voiceit.com. voiceitradio.com, the Laura Crown show on Mondays. Check it out, especially you women. Check it out because she talks a lot about domestic violence and stuff. But what I want to know is, you know, is this a problem that was bred into our families, or is it something that we can do to get it out of? And like you said, Tone, you know a little bit about this, so go ahead and tell us about it.
Oh man, I mean, it's not a laughing matter, you know.
No, it's not. No, it's not a laughing matter because everybody. Well, see, you know, everybody does not believe that a man can be abused or beat up. You know, they always think the man is the perpetrator.
Well, I can't be abused or beat up by no woman, but it's different. It's different forms of the violence. I mean, domestic violence.
If you was married to my ex-wife, then you would have got abused like I did.
Well,
yeah, I was abused before.
I was abused by my first wife.
So let me give you my let me give you my take on this.
Yeah.
When it comes to domestic violence, Okay, and since we're saying like it can go both ways, like it's not just it doesn't just pertain to men beating on women and abusing women. It can definitely go both ways. Let's make that clear, and
It
let's
is
make that
both ways.
fact clear off the beginning. A lot of times, I think it comes with people in these relationships. From my personal experience and my personal beliefs, I think that people, most of the time, or overall, people don't, they really care about these people and they really love these people. They don't mean them any harm, but they can't deal with the pressure and the struggles they're going through, whatever demons are going on in their head, and it lashes out. And who does it lash out? They lash out at the people closest to them.
Right.
And that's the fact of the matter.
How do we stop
how can we stop? I don't know, because once again, we're all human beings. We're all subject to this. We're all none of us are immune to this.
Right.
Do you need like some type of therapy?
Yeah, you need therapy.
Yeah, you need
help.
But because you look at this here. A child witnessed violence in 22% of the home. So that's 1 in 4. Okay. And it's between mother and father. Okay.
Yeah.
And 30 to 60% of it is an intimate partner. So that's either the mother, father, or the boyfriend or girlfriend. So it's not like the sons and the daughters fighting. And then it's nationwide. Okay, it's not, and it goes across all lines. It's not a race issue. It's in black families, white families, and go on.
It's I got the national 20,000 a day. People call.
Right.
20,000 people a day call the
intimate, yeah. 20,000 a day.
They call it what, the hotline for
20,000 a day.
The domestic abuse hotline.
Nationwide, yeah, the domestic abuse hotline.
And then when you look at this,
20,000 a day.
when you survey high school kids, boyfriend and girlfriend, 9.4% of high school students report being abused by a boyfriend or girlfriend.
Or family member.
No, we're not family members, but we're just going on boyfriend and girlfriend in high school because we're going domestic violence. But then when you go into what you just said, SAXMAN, about family members is sexual assault.
Sexual assault, right.
Okay, and abuse on that line. And when you start talking about that and look at cares, nearly 1 in 5 women, that's 18.3%, and 1 in 71 men says that they have either been raped or sexually assaulted.
1 in 75 men?
1 in 71 men.
1 in 71. 1 out of every 71.
I believe it's higher.
Yeah, I believe it's more than that.
Well, that's in the prison system is higher, but we talking about here.
No, it's higher.
I'm talking about women.
Women. We talking about period. This is the stats from the violence center.
A lot of men don't want to admit to it.
Well, that's true too.
Because they think of it like, it might
It's
not bother a guy.
I'm a man.
Unless it's a woman,
embarrassing.
unless it's a woman that he's just.
That's when you look at it. I'm a man. I just got abused by my wife. I can't tell nobody. I never hit the end of it.
I'm talking about sexual abuse.
Yeah, I'm talking about the sexual.
And then you look at this:
part.
81% of women is reporting that they have been abused by their partner or somebody in a sexual way too. And then when you look at sexual assault, it's mostly by a powerful man. Okay, look at Donald Trump. Harvey Weinstein, what's the movie writer, the black movie writer? They got him, the one in New York. No, the one in New York.
But did you hear the case?
Well, I don't think it's mostly powerful men. I think it happens.
Well, we just gonna go down
demographics of men.
It goes
but
down.
The most
Bill
powerful
Crosby.
men, they get all the publicity.
He was found not guilty. His partner wasn't. His co-defendant wasn't found not guilty.
Which one?
The producer. He was just talking about. If we're talking about the same producer.
Yeah, but the black guy, I can't think of his name.
Cosby.
No.
Not Cosby.
He did.
Simmons.
Oh, Russell Simmons.
Russell Simmons.
Okay,
Yeah, Simmons. I knew it'd come to me sooner or later. Russell Simmons. But if you look at Bill Crosby, I mean, we got a lot of people to come down there. Now, I talked to a lot of women, okay, and the women has a unique perspective for this, okay, because they say that Bill Clinton, Trump, and all these people getting exactly what they deserve when they get exposed because they were married men messing around on their wives. So if they wasn't messing around with their wives, they wouldn't have got into the situation that they're in now.
Regardless of they doing what they're accused
right,
of or not, they still getting
right. You know, because
they open the door. I mean, as a male,
that's a good point. I mean, it's if it's especially if they're innocent, they're getting what they deserve. If they're guilty, they're not. They're getting,
but you know what? That's what the part I said. Well, I said that to some women, and at this conference said the same thing. You know what they told me? If he wasn't there and did what he was supposed to do with his wife, he wouldn't have to worry about it.
Right, but if he actually did what the women are accusing him of, which is raping them, then
he need to be hung.
He's not. Yeah, until he gets punished for that offense.
That's
then
about
he,
it.
you know.
But what you think is going to happen? Okay, they're going to put Bill back on trial. What, November? No, I mean in April, May.
Are they still?
Right. You know, the first trial ended in a hung jury.
Okay, yeah.
And they want to bring more accusers
Bill
in.
Cosby gonna drop dead before we get close to this matter.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, because that was a promise by the Republicans. They was going to use him as an example.
They gonna use anybody for an example, and
well, that was before the floodgates opened up. Now you know that was matter of fact that was the
they
start.
got wife beaters in the White House. How they gonna use somebody for an example?
But you know that was the start of all this, okay? Because last year I said this was remember we did the show, and remember I said, was it fair? And we asked about a consensual relationship and all that. And was it fair to come out and do this and destroy a person's career 30 or 40 years later when he couldn't defend it? Because you can't defend yourself.
Right. We had Gigi come on and she said that's not fair.
Right. Yeah. Gigi came on.
Yeah. I mean, I would never understand that. Like, why the wait? You know, like I'm not trying to downplay any of these women. You know, if they're for real, they're telling the truth. Hey, then fight for the justice that you deserve. But 30, 40 years don't make sense to me. Why the decades wait?
Would you wait that long? Come on, Tone.
Nah, man.
Would you wait that
I'm
long?
gonna fight for justice right.
That's right.
Like right away.
You gonna get
and
it
if I get deprived of justice that I feel I deserve, either I'm gonna decide to let it go. It ain't worth fighting for, or I'm gonna keep fighting.
But you're gonna do it then. You ain't gonna wait 30, 40 years.
But you know what? I have to say this though, and this in the barbershop. Anytime
gossip from the shop.
No, it's not gossip.
Gossip from the shop. I love it.
Anytime a woman accuses a man of rape, the first thing the brother's gonna say, "Oh, she lying. She lying."
Well, I don't say that.
That's I don't say it either though. It's like how you gonna say this woman's lying?
But if you put yourself in that position, and let's say this, let's take it away from the women.
In what position?
Because right here, this is a staggering thing right here. 6% of man has experienced some type of sexual coercion or sexual assault in their lifetime.
Now let's go there.
Right. Okay. So let's reverse that.
I'm gonna say something. Okay.
Go ahead.
When I was in prison, it was a guy. He was gay, and he got another guy caught a case. He didn't rape him, but he tried to. You know what I'm saying?
But we see.
Hold on, let me say this. And I told him, like, man, you walking around here on that homo stuff. You got what you deserve. Now you want to press charges against him. He said, okay, yes, I am a homosexual. But if I don't want to have sex with him, I don't want to have sex with him. I said, you know what?
That's the truth of the matter.
Right.
Prison, that's a whole other dynamic.
It's the truth, though. It's a man saying that.
That's the universal truth. If you don't want to have sex, whether you homosexual, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whatever, if you don't want to and somebody forced themselves upon you, then that's a violation.
What you
that's
think?
A violation.
You walking around here like, I don't want to use the word fag, but you know what I'm saying? That's what I say. You walking around here like on that, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of frustrated with him. Like, I'm already frustrated. You know what I'm saying? I was biased. I ain't about to go there.
But it's like that video. It's like that video. Remember the video the guy put out of people sagging?
Yeah.
Okay. But I want everybody, the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233. That's 1-800-799-7233. If you're experiencing anything like domestic violence or you're being abused, or you know somebody is experiencing that or being abused, call that number and get them some help, because this is a very serious problem.
It is. And Sax, you know, you know what? I was gonna say, Sax, give them your direct line too.
Tone gonna answer the phone
for the locals, if they need, Sax will come to your door like
Well,
the
yeah,
Black Panther.
but right, you know, I'm gonna say this. You know, the Black Panthers in. I got my Black Panther gear, but I'm gonna say this. You know, people going crazy over the Black Panther movie. You know,
I loved it. Man.
I wanted to touch on that.
Right,
too.
but you're right. You know, but this is the thing about it. Batman.
You see that segue I just caused right there?
Captain America. All these people. We never went crazy when they had the black superheroes. I mean, the white superheroes.
We didn't.
It's all. I mean, it's all propaganda, man.
But they call them theaters, putting bomb threats on them, and now you can't carry your book bags in the theaters.
You know why? You know why? Because finally, black people are getting recognized as somebody as a superpower, superhero. It made a lot of money in the box office. It's popular, and they don't want black folk to have anything.
So, Tone,
no
popularity,
no money, no nothing.
But honestly,
that's all it's about. Man.
It was some ignorant
haters.
Some ignorant white guys. They thought it was a picture about the Black Panthers.
Right.
You know, they're like, this is racist. This is about the black. It's not about the Black Panthers. They were just ignorant. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Right. But see, you know, that's what everybody thought it was. They thought it was a movie about Huey P. Newton and the Black Panthers.
And he was from Oakland, the producer.
Right,
you know,
right,
director.
right,
yeah,
right.
So yeah.
It's not what they really thought. It's not what they really.
They just don't want to see
thought.
people of color had nothing. Not
we
even
gonna keep it.
movie.
Listen, we gonna keep it 100% real. From the perspective of black people, there might have been, you know, some little subtle associations with the Black Panther Party. They did have, a part of the story was involved in Oakland, right? So, but that don't got nothing to do with the fact that these people, you know, the ignorant people that's trying to make it seem like.
Is it worth $25? That's what I want to know.
I didn't pay $25.
$25? What?
Well, that's what's going rate at the show. If it's not.
I went to the matinee, so I got the tickets for $9.75 each. I paid for 2 tickets. So what's that? About $19, you know, after tax with the tickets, and I didn't get no popcorn or nothing there because
you can't afford it after you done paid for the ticket.
I went out. I went to a nice restaurant. For all you East Siders, I'm gonna give some free publicity to Coco's Locos, man. It's on.
Who?
Coco's Locos, man. They got the best burrito and the drinks. They got the big.
And if you want the bubblies, the grum bubblies in the stomach, that's what you're gonna get, right?
Well, I'm a vegan, man.
You a
vegan.
Where's that at?
Yeah, where's it at?
It's on Euclid, right past Psalm Center, and what's that? Right by the Willoughby movie theater, right down the street.
So it's right there in Willoughby, right there by the plaza.
So how was the movie, though, Tom?
It was excellent, man. I recommend everybody go see it. It's superb. I mean, especially if you're a fan of Marvel and these superhero movies, is you know, I'm not gonna say it. I mean, in my opinion, it's the best, but it's definitely not any less than any other superhero movie to come before.
Was any of the Avengers in this? The other Avengers?
No,
this was strictly Black Panther.
Strictly him.
Yeah, this strictly.
That's probably why everybody mad.
Because
every Avenger, every Marvel movie come out, there's some other Avenger is going to be in that movie somehow.
Yeah, but
even at the end of
that's
the
what the
movie
sequels are for,
man.
That's what the sequels are for. You gotta let them, man. You gotta let these people get their shine first.
So this one didn't have not one other Avenger in there, and they probably salty as hell.
They were part of a secret society.
They salty as hell. They probably
what's the name of that city? Wakanda?
Wakanda. Oh wait, y'all haven't seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it.
Man, what are y'all playing around for?
Because I'm waiting on it to come on Fire Stick so I can watch it for free.
Get out of here.
Well, Saxman, you have to understand, we are old. We old, okay? So
y'all better go down the street to the Lakeshore 7 Cinemas, man.
No. We wait for $2. No, Sax, we waiting for the Blu-ray. If I'm gonna pay $20, I'm gonna own it.
Oh yeah, exactly. You know what? I haven't bought a DVD or a Blu-ray in God knows when, but I think I might get the Blu-ray of
I got Fire Stick. I'm waiting.
Now my babies been, my grandbabies and all them been to and everything, but me, I value my dollar, okay? As being an old man, so I'm waiting for it to come out on Blu-ray so I can buy it and eat popcorn in the living room.
This is a cultural.
Watch as many times as I want. Don't cost me one price.
This is an impactful moment in the culture of our nation. Okay. Go to the movies and see.
I can still save money.
Go to the theaters and see this movie.
Now you went to Willoughby, right?
Yeah.
So that you had your own seat. You know, you had to sit. Your seat was pre-assigned and all that. Okay.
Yeah. I picked the seats out.
Okay.
When you buy them, yeah.
So no popcorn, no candy.
Yeah,
You just sat there and listened to everybody else crunching and enjoying.
No, I sat there and watched the movie.
But
it was
you know,
that
hey,
good.
as Howard Stern, see, I'm gonna steal something from the Howard Stern show.
All right, go ahead.
That's probably why they can't take the book bags and stuff in, because they probably had bologna sandwiches.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
No. You know what they said?
That's what I was thinking. No, that's what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking weapons. I was thinking like, yeah.
No, that's
they bringing food up in there.
No, that's a fallacy. That's a fallacy.
Somebody,
a movie theater employee, just posted something about that not too long ago.
That's why
you were allowed to bring your own food in the movie theater.
Were you?
Yeah.
Since when?
Since forever. They said they don't prefer. Of course, they want you to buy it, but they can't stop you. You're allowed to.
I ain't never seen.
I just read this in the last week.
Wait, you know they had SAXMAN in the movie theaters coming down with flashlight. We was looking for bootleggers.
You used to be down in Tower City.
No, I was doing all the Regal
bootlegging.
See, I never been.
I had the night vision goggles, and my job was to sit there in the dark, and I was scanning motherfucker. And I was catching them.
But you know.
But then you go buying
How
bootlegs.
long-
What are you doing, man? You playing both sides of the field.
How long
man.
it's been out? How
It just came out last Friday. It just came out Friday.
Because I am surprised, and I just thought about that when I thought about what SAXMAN was doing. I'm surprised the bootleggers ain't got it out selling it right now.
They out there, but man,
it's kind of hard.
You're not gonna do yourself no justice if you watch this on bootleg.
I catch you with those glasses. I catch you.
And check this out.
I was scanning. I was catching them.
You used to be at Tower City back in the 90s, doing the security in there too, didn't you? We used to be in there. All you hear during the movie is bottles. Clink, 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 clink.
Yep.
Hey, we want everybody to get out and go see the Black Panthers and really show them some support and everything. But before we start getting ready to get up out of here, because it's almost that time. I want to ask you, Tony Stone, and Jay Mack. I think Jay Mack was talking about this before when he was talking about the GOAT, Michael Jordan. The trade that the Cavaliers just did. What you think about that, Jay Mack?
You just killed him. You killed him.
People get mad at me because I keep it 100 about LeBron. You
Keep
know
it
what
real.
I'm saying?
Go ahead.
He's always crying for help.
But Jay Mack, I asked you one simple question. If we didn't ask you to go,
I'm gonna go there. Listen to me.
I asked you about
what
what you think about the trade of the young Bucks.
It made them more exciting to watch. Championship, no.
Oh, you don't. But let me ask you this question.
You think they're gonna make it to the finals again?
Of course, yeah.
They beat Kyrie and them down like they stole something.
They sure did. They played well together.
If they make it to the finals, it's a chance.
And wait a minute, and they took Houston. Wait a minute, was that Houston? They dismantled Oklahoma. They dismantled Oklahoma, and then LeBron made the turnaround shot. Wait a minute, the LeBron made that turnaround 0.2 seconds game winner.
Regular season.
Well, listen, you just said they gonna make it to the finals. You confident in that? If they make it to the finals, then they got a chance to take it.
We will take. You know what? If them young boys,
because I'm already hearing Houston might got a chance of replacing the Warriors in the finals. So if they just what they did to no, that was Oklahoma. But you know what I'm saying? I'm hearing a lot of talk like Houston are probably the favorites right now to make it over the Warriors.
Let me ask you this question.
The Cavs can win.
I want everybody to think about
if they
this.
make it there this year.
Even if they get back to the finals and they don't win it, that trade, you know, we had nothing but superstars and $2,900 million salaries, and we got rid of all that, and we got these young guys. Even if they get, is that a marketable trade? I mean, is that the best trade in NBA history? That's what I'm looking at.
I mean, so far it's looking really good. Like, you know, it's looking like
and the Cavs
the
on
right
tonight.
decisions was
The
made
Cavs are on
all around the board.
The Cavs coming on right when we go off. The Cavs coming on. So I want y'all to see my Cavs. But now let me ask you this, Jay Mack, and I want to get you on the record here, SAXMAN. We're gonna get him early on the record here.
Let's get him.
Because he looked like he could come in looking like Mr. Rogers.
Oh, you know something? That's a good idea.
Yeah, he do look like we could do this to him.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, we could do this.
I sense a wager coming on.
Jake Mack, Jake Mack, since you want to come against the demands of the land.
I am from Cleveland.
But you want to baby? No.
I just tell the truth. I feel.
You can't talk. How you gonna talk? How you gonna talk about the king and then go turn around and talk about you from the land?
Because I am.
Off with your head. Off with your.
You know what? I'm from the land. If your breath stink, I'm gonna hand you some gum.
It's like that.
It's like
I'm not gonna say, okay, that's my man. No, your breath stinks, brother.
Okay. So
that's real. That's the truth.
So you can't wait a minute. So you talking about my boy and the king. So let's do this. And you got 2 months to get yourself together and come back and say you sorry. If the king and his new young bucks and justers get to the finals and take the finals, we want you to come back on the air dressed in your little sweater and apologize personally to LeBron.
What little sweater? This one he got on?
No, we're gonna buy him one.
Okay.
All you gotta do is find Doug Million, call Doug Million up and get Doug Million's outfit. Because Doug Million had to weigh
I would love to. Believe me, I would love to.
Yep.
Yeah,
I would love to.
Because we're gonna send you and we're gonna give you women. You know, we got our press credentials here. We got our press credentials here.
You gonna have to be courtside with the Mr. Rogers get up on, man.
Call Doug Million.
We got our press credentials here. We're going to send you down for the parade and make you cover Bron.
Yeah.
No problem. I would love to.
In your Mr. Rogers outfit.
I would love to. I would love to. I didn't think they were going to win it.
It didn't even got to be a bet.
Win it when they were down 3-1. I think they were going to win.
But
so
you know they haven't lost. But you know they haven't lost.
Bron.
They haven't lost the game since that trade.
I get what Jay's saying though. Like, I mean, in my opinion, LeBron the best player ever. In my opinion, but I get what you're saying about him being a crybaby.
So I want to ask you.
No, I don't like that about him either.
First of all, LeBron's playing different. He's playing defense now. He was not playing before. JR's playing. So it's the people that were still here that were here that are still here are playing better.
But let me ask you this question.
So it's not so much about the trade. It's new air.
Did you see Undisputed? Did you see Undisputed when the player said one of LeBron's ex-players said that he quit on the team or whatever? Did y'all see that?
Yeah, I saw that. I could believe that. I mean, he's quit before.
But let me tell you something, SAXMAN.
I ain't got nothing to say. I'm quiet.
SAXMAN, Russell Wilkins want to send this to you.
Oh, here we go.
Either you're part of the solution or, goddammit, you are the fucking problem.
See, this is the
Either
problem.
you're part of the solution or, goddammit, you are the fucking problem.
See, that time, that's directed to somebody else.
Well, that's going to be directed right there. That's going to be directed right there to the man who talked about the king.
This why it was paused. This is why I paused. Let me ask me a question. Because I get this all the day in the barbershop.
You knew it wasn't.
They can claim I'm a Warriors fan. I'm this. I'm that. No, I'm a Cleveland.
It wasn't no right answer. You knew it was.
That's
coming.
why you was quiet.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
But Jake Mack.
I didn't expect not from a man, not from us, though. You know what I'm saying?
Jake Mack. I just had to say.
Maybe some calling.
I just had to say, Jake Mack. I just want to let you know that. You know, y'all throwing all that salt on LeBron. You're trying to,
I'm
you
not
know.
Throwing salt.
Say he a crybaby and everything.
He is. I'm crying.
I'm going to keep it 100% real with both of y'all old timers, okay? If he don't bring another championship to the Cleveland before he retire, then he won't. Then he's not going to be the greatest player ever.
I think. Wait a minute, but I think
in the books.
I think these bucks he brought in, we got some young, hungry bucks.
So he don't got no excuse. He better bring one more ring.
I think they're gonna bring it home. I think they're gonna bring it home. I really do. I think tonight they're gonna whoop up on Atlanta tonight. I think they're playing.
They playing Washington. They playing the Wizards.
Oh, they playing the Wizards.
Okay,
they're gonna whoop up on the Wizards. They're gonna be 4 straight. They're gonna fry Jake Mack up a little bit and toast him a little bit, make him come back next week.
Like an egg.
Okay, you know what? I'm glad you said that. Cause check this out. You got to show me.
All right.
When Jordan got his first title, I didn't think it was about to beat Magic and them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he was. I used to argue he wasn't the best.
But that's a different time.
What I'm saying is, you have to show me.
Jordan is the
Jordan
best.
made me shut my mouth.
Jordan
I was Jordan's
is the
biggest
best.
critic. I was his biggest critic.
Oh, like you are Barbara.
Yes, and he made me be quiet. He made me be quiet. He made me, you know what? I give it to him.
But
I didn't want to. I didn't want to give it to Jordan.
But the king has been known to silence and bring the justers back into the court. You know that, right?
Since he's been wait. Since when? Wait, what?
Since he left before he left high school, when he was in St. Mary's. The king has broke his doubters and everything.
No, I never doubted him. He did better than I expected. I never doubted him.
But is he better than Jordan?
Come on, man.
Now you know he ain't gonna say that yet. He ain't gonna say that
I was waiting to get
yet.
an answer. I want to get an answer.
I mean, he didn't. Well, he's
But-
three or three
but
or
you know-
eight.
wait a
I
minute, you
mean,
know
he
what-
can
you
never
know
be there.
you
I
know
mean,
what-
Jordan, listen, let me tell. I started watching
Wait,
basketball.
wait a minute, but you
Hold on,
know
let me
what-
say one thing. I
Go
started
ahead,
watching.
go ahead, get it out.
Kareem and Dr. J used to be my favorites.
All right.
30
Okay?
seconds. Go ahead, you
Okay,
got it out.
They were my favorites. I've been watching the finals since Magic Johnson's rookie year. Out of all the Hall of Famers I've seen playing those finals games, Michael Jordan is the only one I never seen falter on a big stage.
And on that note right there, everybody.
Fan base is big, I can't lose. Jigger bow down, I'm the next to rule, but I'ma stay on the cool, remain on the under, cause like Andre 3000, your boy's ice cold. Ain't no limit to the gimmicks and ways to make money. No limit to the just to act funny when you get that cake, cause you spit that way. They may love you tomorrow when they hate you today, but yo, that's the way the story goes, so I was told. Following the ramble down the yellow brick road, please believe at the end ain't no pie to go, just some platinum beats from the Cleveland streets.
Hey, thank you for being with us tonight. Tone the Stone is in the house. Tone.
We live in Studio 51. Thank everybody for listening. It was another great show. Be back this same time, same place next week for one more time. We're going to do it. Stop the madness. Keep it 100. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Sax. Thanks, Jay. And everybody out there listening. Love y'all.
SAXMAN is in Studio 51 with us one more time.
Yeah, where is he? Where'd he go?
Sax, you know, next week we're going to get you together because we got about 2 or 3 law enforcement cases you're going to take on for us.
Okay. Well, I should be feeling better by then. I'm kind of below the weather. I should be okay by then, so I'll be looking forward to that.
J Mac came in tonight, people, with some gossip from the shop, and I really loved it. But you know what? He's going to have to apologize to Bron. I want everybody to know Jake Mack is going to bring it. Jake Mack, tell us something before we get out of here.
Just come check me out on 548 East 200, Hot Hands Barbershop. Get you a nice fake, nice trim, you know what I'm saying?
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Hook me up. I want the same thing you got.
Yeah, but this is DNA. You don't know.
Hey.
Sax, what you got up under that hat, man?
He don't know nothing.
I got gray up under there. That's all I got.
But hey, I'm your host, Sean L. Facebook Live, YouTube, SoundCloud, and Mixcloud, and everybody out there. Hey, thank you for joining us. And as always, peace, love, and happiness.
Good show, fellas.
You've been listening to Stop the Madness, Keep It 100 on STMK Radio 100.